Art Deco style floor lamps, probably from 20s, 30s, something like that. I'll have to do more research on it to find out exactly where it's from. The main thing that I really liked about this one, I mean, I've had these before. This piece right here is missing on a lot of these, and it's just the light bulb socket. So it's really neat that this is here. Anyways, this thing looks like it's been painted at least once before, and you can see the base has a little bit of rust on it. So I'm going to strip this thing down, strip all the paint off here, and repaint it. Wiring is seen better days, so I'll replace that. I will probably take this apart and just replace the guts on this and keep the old housing. I always think the old housing looks better than a brand new one, but I will replace the guts on it. So I'm just going to take all these pieces off that will come off. You can see here's the cord, which we're going to just go ahead and cut. I'm just going to use these needle nose. All these tools have cutters on them, so. And this needs to be disassembled. There's that. There is that. This piece is a little bit brittle, so you have to be very careful with this. I suspect most of these don't have these anymore because people broke them. So set that aside. This, I'm going to take this apart and replace the guts on it if I can. Some of these are pretty easy to replace the guts. We'll set this aside. And let's see here. Just pull that out. There's this piece. All this stuff just kind of screws on. Okay, this is a good piece to definitely try and remember where it goes. Another reason you should use a video when you're doing these, to be able to look back and put it back together the right way. Alright, now what we have is this giant rod that's connected to this. Pull this cord right on through. You can see on here a name and a number. Looks like it says Renaud and 40. 40 is probably the style. Let's see if I can Google that and come up with something. Alright, this stuff is going to be stripped next. You can see I'm using strippies. It's what I have on hand. I've used it before with, decent success. So, you basically brush it on. Probably should be wearing gloves. Like the red's coming off. I don't think the red's original. This piece might not be original either. Really get into those tight tight spots. That's the reason you're using paint stripper instead of sandpaper or wire brush, whatever. You want the paint stripper to do all the work in these cracks. Alright, now we're going to let it sit. You might be thinking, Jim, why are you not just priming it, repainting it, just leaving the old paint on it? Well, take a look at the detail on this. This is very fine detail, and the more you paint this, the more you lose the detail. And that's the best part of pieces like this, is this fine detail. You don't really see this anymore. So you want to get the old paint off, so when you put new paint on, you still have some detail instead of just, filling up all the detail with paint and then just the detail being lost to too much paint. Anyway, that's why. So here's what I've done. As you can see, I've been busy stripping this using that stripper that I showed you, the Strip-Ease. And so it's coming out pretty well. I like how it's coming out. You can see that there are a couple different metals here. You've got some cast iron, and then you have some brass and aluminum. Definitely gonna have to get painted. It would look kind of weird if I just polished all that. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna paint it. I've been looking at 3 different types of black. Let me get that light out of there. Probably see it. So there's a gloss black. This is a satin black, and then over here is a flat black. I'm leaning towards the satin black. I like that look the best. It kind of matches the old socket here. You can see that's kind of a satiny black. And this is sitting on the new lampshade. It's a mica lampshade. Supposedly made by some artisans in the hills of North Carolina, but the bag says made in China. So there goes that. This base is cast iron. I still have some more work to do to this. I'm going to hit this with some steel wool and clean that up a little bit before I hit it with some rust fix, just to encapsulate any rust that might be left on this, and that'll protect it a little bit better in the future. And I'll do both sides of it. I'll turn it upside down and do the underneath as well. You can see the detail here on this guy now that it's been stripped. I still need to do a little bit more work with a wire brush to get the rest of that paint out, but you can see just how fine the detail is. I've decided on satin black as the color I'm going to go with. You can see here I've painted one piece just as a test, and I like the way it came out. Well, everything's now been painted. You can see it's all satin black, and I think it came out pretty nice. So next up will be reassembling it, and I did end up stripping the paint off of this. You can see I have a new internals for it. I like the looks of this old brass way better than new brass. It's not as shiny. So anyways, next up is reassembling. You gotta take this wire through here, all the way down here, and then make this turn and come down. So let's see how well that works. This kind of has a natural curve, so I'm gonna send it in that way. So hopefully it'll at least try and curve down when we get to this part. If not, what we'll do is we'll stick a screwdriver in there or something, and yeah, it's in there now. So we'll stick a screwdriver down there and see if we can get it to go and make that turn. So using a piece of baling wire, I made a little tiny hook. I should be able to grab it now. Definitely able to get a hold of it, and it has come down some. It's real close. You can see it. Maybe you can see it. Probably can't see it. There it is. See it poking through. There's something I didn't notice. This piece actually comes off. Probably would have made things easier, huh? Oh well, I've got it now, so it doesn't matter. Okay, we're finally ready to feed the cord down the light. Gotta remember to put this guy on. Goes right there. And this one, just straight down. I've, the bottom, I have it sitting on something so when the cord gets to the bottom, that's hollow underneath it, it's just going to go straight out the bottom. So here we go. Let me speed this up for you. We've got the wire all the way through to the base. And with the realization that this piece actually comes off, I know, those of you that have probably done tons of lamps probably knew that already. And I should have looked at the screw, but whatever. Next up, we want to go ahead and feed the wire through here. Like so. Now with this, you got to put this screw through here, so you got to make sure your wire's bent a little bit so it can get through. Best thing to do is just go ahead and put the screw in here with the wire bent, and then put it into place. Takes care of that. Now you can loosen this and adjust this however you want it. So next up is this piece. Now it doesn't, there was no screw, there was nothing to hold this in place. So you've got to imagine that you're supposed to put this guy in place to screw it in. Just go ahead, feed that up there. This would probably be easier if I had the entire base on here. Okay, so this is the original light socket, and what I've done is I've replaced the guts of it to brand new ones, and these are polarity based. So you've got one that's silver, one that's gold. So what you want to do is match up the wire on both sides with this, with the new plug, which is an antique looking plug, but it also is the same way, where it's got a silver and a gold. So silver to silver, gold to gold, easy. So we're going to pull back a little bit of this. Then we're going to put a knot in here, like so. Keep the wires from getting pulled off. That should be good. Then we're going to strip a bunch of this off, like so. And like so. Then I'm going to take a good look at this wire. Okay, so checking out the wire. Sometimes these wires have ribs on them, or they have tracers, or or whatever. They have something to let you know from one end all the way to the other end that you're looking at the same wire. On this particular one, this wire has writing. It's it's in ink only on one wire. So that wire, we're gonna have that'll be our silver wire. So this wire right here has writing on it, and I'm gonna put that on the silver screw on this end. And then when we wire up the other end with the plug, the silver screw on that will also be wiring that has the writing on it. I learned how to do this in shop class in like 7th grade. I don't know if they teach that anymore. I hope they do. Okay, so what I want to do is feed this wire in, and I think I have this where I want it. This piece here is got to stick out the side of this, so I think I want it there. Push this all the way up in here. Now this has this little cardboard right here. Make sure this is still in here. This is your insulation between the wiring and the outside of this. You'll be in for a little shock if you don't get that right. All right, see, I want that centered with that. All right, that works. Now let's see if I can pull it through. Let's hope so. Oh yeah, no problem now. I don't know if they would. The safety people would be okay with this. The way this works. This screw is right up against the wire. Insulation of the wire. There's my cat. I don't know what she was killing over there, but I wish she'd kill this horsefly. Alright, working on the next one. That one's done. Now we're just going to take this guy. Put it in place. There we go. One old-timey plug. This goes right here. Probably a finial or something else, who knows. I'm sure it has a real name though. Uno fitting. Hey look, it's not very tight because for whatever reason, I think I mentioned this earlier, this thing's made in China, so it doesn't fit right. Shocker. But once there's a bulb in here, it's at least not going to fall off and break. So here's my bulb. It's actually a LED. And the cool thing about this, well, I'll show you. I'm not going to tell you, I'll show you. Alright. Let's plug this in and try her out. Alright, so here's what you've been waiting for. Plug it in and see if it works. Alright. And look at that. We've got a light. Oh wait, where'd it go? Oh look, it's back. Yeah, it's got a remote now. Comes with the light bulb. Didn't have to do anything special. It's all in the base of the bulb. You can even dim it. Bring it up. like you can do different colors. By different colors, I mean different colors of white. Okay, well, let me see if I can show you the full thing. So here it is. I think it looks a whole lot nicer than it did. I'll try and actually put it inside and take more video of it in there so you can see it.